Hi, I'm Spiders, and as a top player, I've made countless builds in an attempt to achieve true mastery over perfecting the art of build creation. And as a result, time and time again, around me, I've seen people make mistakes that could have been avoided to make their builds many magnitudes better. So, here are 3 build creation mistakes I see all the time that you should try your best to always avoid. Let's get into it. Now, the first mistake that I see people make all the time, especially if they're kind of lazy, is taking more mantras than you need. Did you know that on every even level, you get a new mantra? And also in levels 9 and 19, this combined with the extra mantra you get from the Celsius quest adds up to a total of 13 mantras that you get just from progressing your build, and this isn't even including oath mantras. Now the problem with this is that you can only use up to 10 mantras if you have Vision Shaper or Arc Order and Neuroplasticity, and if you don't have Vision Shaper or Arc Order but a different oath, you can only hold up to 9 mantras to be used at once in your build. So if you end up with more than 9 or 10 mantras on your build, then chances are they're just sitting in your inventory going to waste. This is an issue because instead of having those mantras sitting in your inventory doing nothing, you could have rolled to them instead and got some free extra talents, with pretty much no downside here. But what most people do after realizing this mistake is go to Hive and use the Shrine of the Vision in order to get those 2 talents back for each mantra sitting in their inventory, not being used. So if by the time you complete your build you realize that you happen to have some extra mantras lying around in your inventory, I highly recommend going over to Hive, Shrine of the Vision in them, and getting those free extra talents, since a lot of the time that can be the difference between getting some key extra talents or just getting some extra quality of life stuff as well. So might as well do it if you can. Also, if you're too lazy to go over and sell to Hive, which is understandable, then you can also find the Shrine in the depths where Yunshul is. So if you happen to be down there for whatever reason, you can also take care of that issue when you're down there, maybe re-rolling your bell or something. Now the next mistake that I see people make without even having put any stat points into their build yet is not going simple. Now simple is a really powerful flaw, since it's the only flaw that really has 0 downside when your build is complete, while every other flaw will have some impact on you that will hurt your build. Now not only that, but it also gives you 2 boon points instead of just 1 like every other flaw has, so it's better in that way too. Now it might sound kind of annoying to get less XP as you progress, but I will say the downside is not that bad. I go simple on pretty much every build these days, and I haven't really noticed much, and it doesn't take that long for me to progress. Now the general rule of thumb I'd say with going simple is if you plan on using a build for more than 2 weeks, you should definitely go simple in order to make sure you get a perfect build that you can trust will not let you down, have the minimum downsides possible. And while we're on the topic of boons and flaws, if you're trying to make an optimal PvP build, I recommend also going Steadfast for your boon. The reason for this is because Steadfast is the only boon that really has a direct impact on every PvP fight you're in. And although I'm pretty sure the armor durability boost from it is only about 5%, it's still a nice little helpful thing, especially if you're fighting against a Scrap Singer, which is where armor becomes an actual key part of fights. So just putting that out there, Steadfast is a really good boon choice, so make sure you consider that if you're trying to make a meta PvP build. Now the last build mistake that I see people make, especially if they're new to the game, is not doing the talent quests you can find around the map. Now if you didn't know, you can actually gain 3 extra talents from doing the Compassion, Curiosity, and Bravery quests you can find around the map. 1 talent for each. But the one that I usually do for Compassion is the Carlia quest, because you gotta save Carlia, don't just leave her hanging like that. But you do need 55 charisma for that, so keep that in mind. But that is the meta these days, so you'll probably have it on most good builds anyway. And while we're at Etris, I also do the Pleekstee's Will quest, which you can find in the food shop by talking to this Ganymede NPC named Plume. You can do this quest by also having 55 charisma or by getting 3 dying embers, and this counts for a curiosity quest, so you also get a talent for this. It's really easy, all you gotta do is talk to the dude, so pretty simple. And the last quest I do for bravery is the one where you get engaged in critical assault, which is where you kill Megalodon for this dude found around the Garden Reservoir. Pretty simple, but just by doing quests like these, you can gain 3 extra talents really easily, so I recommend doing this on any build you're trying to actually make decently. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more important tips for making your builds better, check out my last video in the series. Let me know if you're too lazy to do these, or if you're someone who's willing to spend the extra time optimizing your build. Like and subscribe for more top content, and I'll see you in the next one.